Addressing rural cellular backhaul, connecting the unconnected. Connectivity is really the first challenge that mobile operators are facing, and in more details, this is linked to coverage. These remote areas are too far or too difficult to reach to allow any terrestrial connection. Next to this, even though cost of handsets is decreasing, they are still often unaffordable, and so is the cost of the data plan. Lastly, the connectivity is very differently perceived if we bring it to the GDPs of the related countries. It will cost a user 1.7% of monthly GDP to pay for the data plan in Asia Pacific and 18% of the GDP to acquire the device. Conversely, it will cost 6.8% of GDP for the data service in sub-Saharan Africa and a staggering 69% of GDP to acquire the device. So affordability in all senses of the word is of extreme importance for rural connectivity. At ST Engineering, we are amongst the top suppliers for cellular backhaul solutions, with the most innovative solution in a very fast-paced market. We have a very large footprint with recent key deployments, including in rural areas. We're also the leader in trunking for connecting to international gateways, for example, and working diligently towards 5G. We serve different international markets, the traditional 2G, 3G, but we see increasing 4G rollouts and several 5G still at the stage of proof of concepts. Cellular backhaul is also very effective for first responders networks similar to what Verizon is supporting in the US, but also in different environments, such as maritime, for example, for providing cellular connectivity within a vessel. Back to our rural connectivity topic, what TIP has highlighted is the importance of sound business cases, investments, complete and specific policies to fuel rural cellular backhaul deployments. And these are really key aspects defining the total cost of ownership, TCO, as they address the key areas of OPEX, CAPEX, and business model. Talking about business models, again, TIP has highlighted several common and important aspects. The ARPU, which is typically between $3 and $6, the data usage around 1 gigabit per user per month, and the size of the communities which are targeted. These aspects are feeding the business case, and in fact, what is now established is that to address these populations with such revenue, the best way to address them is with small cells, as these can now provide a positive return on investment, even for population clusters below 1,000 people. And the satellite capacity price for 1 gigabit per user per month has to be at around $300 per megabit per month. These are the conditions for a valid rural connectivity business case. Enabling a competitive TCO requires that all aspects related to OPEX, CAPEX, performance, and even customer experience are taken into account. You need a set of features in your solution which will provide very high spectral efficiency, multiplexing, and pre-distortion, for example, to reduce OPEX, data acceleration to enhance user experience, but also adhering to strict service level agreements that mobile operators will impose. Let's take the example of the satellite return technologies. If you have very high rates, you will need dedicated capacity at the risk of overpaying when you don't utilize this capacity all the time. This is the case with the SCPC return technology. Similarly, you may use a return technology which allows sharing the capacity between the users, but also at the risk of less spectral efficiency though. This is the case with MFDDMA. What ST Engineering is offering is the MXDMA return technology, which is totally dynamic and fully adjusts to the real-time traffic, but also allows sharing capacity between the users with very high spectral efficiency. More on the MXDMA return technology. It provides you with the highest spectral efficiency, constantly adjusting to real-time traffic and fading conditions, sharing capacity between users. It also allows you to use small buck or block-up converter, which lowers your capex significantly. At the same time, it is very easy to use technology as you do not need to reconfigure every time you add or make changes to your setup. Another key benefit of MXDMA is to provide very high service availability with fade-sensitive Ku band. The prices of Ku band in Brazil, for example, is around $1,500 per megahertz versus more than $3,500 per megahertz for C-band. So using Ku significantly helps the TCO. But how to leverage Ku even though it is more fade sensitive, so quality of service will suffer? What the chart below is showing you is that if you compare ST Engineering's MXDMA return technology versus SCPC, which has a very high service availability, you see that you get a very high service availability at 99.95% with MXDMA, while you use very little bandwidth compared to SCPC. And when trying to use KA band, since KA band is less than $1,000 per megahertz versus KU band, which is at 1500 megahertz, you get an even better result with little bandwidth utilized to reach 99.95% availability with MXDMA, which SCPC never allows you to reach. Terminals are key to total cost of ownership for rural deployment. You need to be at the right price point for the required throughput, and you need to have the range to accommodate the multiple network configurations you may have to deploy. At ST Engineering, we have a very wide range, including outdoor models, which can accommodate any market requirements. What is also helping change the rural connectivity landscape is the new service delivery and business models options. The as-a-service options are expanding the customer's possibilities. Managed services are getting a lot of traction. New services and applications activated by mobile operators are expanding their traditional voice and data services, which were the traditional bread and butter of mobile operators. Consider Safaricom in Kenya, where more than 30% of revenue comes from mobile payments now. Considering IoT as well, which can be a traditional factor for rural expansion. Let's discuss real and concrete cases of rural connectivity. Let's discuss of Andesat in Peru. This is an opportunity to reach remote and rural areas, around 60,000 villages, more than 3 million people. No mobile operator wanted to bring connectivity to these regions. What was put in place for this project was an innovative and cooperative model enabling companies to share infrastructure and network build expenses as well as revenues. In turn, the mobile operator only pays for the traffic that their end users consume. The solution is based on iDirect evolution with DVB S2X for effective, competitive service packages. It provides Wi-Fi and 4G services to villages as well. There are numerous challenges for the Andesat projects: selection of the right equipment, the need to have manufacturer support in Peru, connectivity to the core Telefonica network, the need to build specific masts with equipment high enough so that it cannot be stolen, the need to define the business model starting from scratch, where all bandwidth that is provided gets immediately consumed. To better illustrate this, let's watch a quick video.
There's no other place on Earth like this. Where hardships meet convictions and beauty surrounds us. But that's not what makes Peru unique. Its people do. People that keep moving forward.
Nos hemos adecuado por sobrevivir aquí en este espacio de nuestro Perú.
Stop. Just think about every time you grab your smartphone and enter the world by a simple tap. Seems obvious, right? But it was not possible for them. Until now. And we changed that. We found a way to achieve what no one else could.
El proyecto IMR es una iniciativa del gobierno peruano que tiene como finalidad extender las redes celulares móviles a regiones donde nadie ha podido dar servicio anteriormente. Nosotros como grupo Andesat hemos estado trabajando casi más de 2 años en lograr la combinación perfecta para extender la conectividad vía satélite a zonas denominadas Greenfield.
A unique and effective model that allows us to reach small villages in remote places.
Nosotros vamos primero a los sitios donde hay menos población, donde nosotros pensamos que primero la necesidad es más importante.
We are changing the reality of the deepest Peru.
El comerciante, el agricultor, todos carecíamos de una comunicación y como la señal también trae internet, estamos enterados del precio del cacao también, ¿no? O sea, el comprador ya no nos puede engañar fácil.
Nos va a ayudar a solucionar muchas cosas, empezando enfermedad, empezando de repente a querer estudiar otras cosas. O sea, nosotros no envidiamos de nada. A lo que tiene Fanjuy, a lo que tiene Bellavista, a lo que tiene Tarapoto, a lo que tiene Lima, nosotros tenemos acá.
Y este año el primer despliegue van a ser 154 sitios.
Y el plan nuestro establece cerca de 400 en un periodo de 1 año y medio.
But we are not doing it all by ourselves. Because we needed partners that could be up to the challenge.
Nosotros integramos una solución que tiene como principal proveedor de equipamiento a ZTE. Nosotros tenemos una red satelital iDirect y en este caso la capacidad satelital la está proveyendo Intelsat. Todos han trabajado mucho para poder integrar esta solución y que está funcionando muy bien.
To build a solution for the people.
¿Qué haces, hija? ¿Cómo estás?
Probando el internet.
Sí. ¿Se ve clarito?
Ah, ya, qué bueno. Sí, está bien, está clarito. Ahora sí podemos ver tu cara bonita.
O sea, la postergación de repente del pueblo era inmensa. Pero se ve ahorita que por lo menos hay un cambio.
Ahora nos sentimos como que ya no somos los pueblos olvidados.
We love Peru, and we needed to express that love. We needed a symbol that could sum it all up.
Cuando yo mostré esta camiseta tenía una intención, de que el peruano se sienta más orgulloso de haber nacido en esta tierra. Y ahora lo puedo comprobar, ¿no?
¿Usted es Chorri Palacios?
El mismo que me casa.
Bienvenido a mi tierra, soy Raúl Barrogelata.
Mucho gusto, mucho gusto.
O sea, ese es un progreso también para el pueblo, pues, que ya pueden llamar, escuchar de donde estén.
Sienten que son parte ya del Perú.
Exacto. Ya no tan olvidados como siempre lo estábamos.
Esta gente está súpermente ilusionada, contenta, se nota en su rostro y eso para mí es importante, ¿no? Porque después de haber estado tanto tiempo aislado, ahora ya no, pues, ¿no? Ahora se sienten más cerca y más peruanos.
But this is not just another advertising campaign. It's a road.
Creemos que Te Conectamos Perú nos va a ayudar a buscar un ecosistema donde no solamente el grupo Andesat esté involucrado, queremos involucrarnos con otras empresas y en conjunto lograr que Perú esté conectado 100%.
Limitless.
Nos sentimos gente moderna, gente actualizada.
We've reached a unique land.
Ha llegado la comunicación, ha llegado la internet a este lugar donde nuestros hijos, el futuro para ellos se les va a hacer un poco más fácil que para nosotros.
We've reached its people.
Y una vez habíamos hablado así que se veía, y a uno le ve la cara, no me va a engañar, ya no voy a decir yo, estará mi hija enferma, dirá que no, yo la estoy mirando, ¿no es cierto? Te ve bonito, pe.
We will continue to connect Peru.
What the anti-SAT project highlighted was the effectiveness of parties working together: Intelsat, ZTE, Andesat, ST Engineering, mobile operators, and all of them leveraging private investments. This is a collaborative model which holds the potential to be replicated throughout Latin America and helps mobile operators connect end users in remote and rural areas. The search for efficiency at all levels was also crucial to build a competitive TCO. It is imperative to design the right solution and with the future in mind. Future expansion, future migration from 3G to 4G to 5G, for example. You need to have the right solutions for the right technology. Another case study with a mobile operator in Latin America, one of the world's largest mobile backhaul network for capacity. What were the challenges there? The mobile operator had to fulfill universal service obligation in rural and tropical Amazon rainforest areas with a considerably territory to cover. The mobile operator did not have enough capacity available on satellite C-band transponders. They needed to leverage phase-sensitive Ku-band transponders, which had never been tried for mobile backhaul. The mobile operators had strict service level agreements and service availability requirements. The network has very diverse needs with 2G, 3G, 4G, with intense voice service in some parts of the network. So what was the solution that was finally deployed? The mobile operator is using MXDMA return technology to save bandwidth and guarantee service level agreement. The solution provides very high efficiency, very high availability, high packet per second, and throughput modems were utilized, such as the MDM5010. At the end, several gigabits of capacity are ultimately deployed with the cost-effective Ku-band. 30% savings in capacity were achieved, resulting in lower OPEX. The solution also allowed to reuse existing low-power buck and save on CapEx. The network is commercially deployed in Ku-band since 2015, but the mobile operator is also expanding on Ka-band now, adding more services such as enterprise. This case study takes place in Mauritania. The challenges faced were to deliver mobile services to a very widely dispersed population. Mauritania has more than 4 million inhabitants, and a few sites are located more than 1,500 kilometers from the capital city. There are no terrestrial solutions which can make economically sense for that. Mauritania is low GDP, low ARPU. The need for cost effectiveness was across the board. There was a need for performance and scalability, the need for low bit rate, 2G evolving to 3G and 4G. The solution was needed for very different setups for urban areas and for the Sahara Desert. Lastly, the mobile operator was getting fines by the regulator for quality of service issues. The solution uses MXDMA return technology to save bandwidth and guarantee service level agreement. MXDMA's dynamic bandwidth management helps accommodate the very different usage patterns. The MDM 3100 modems are used for low bit rates, but also guaranteeing future upgrades to bandwidth demanding 3G and 4G. The results achieved: 50% capacity savings, a very cost-effective solution was deployed. The profitable service has expanded to 3G since then, and the mobile operator is not fined by the regulator anymore for this satellite service portion. The bottom line, TCO is the key indicator for a sound rural connectivity business case. Satellite equipment is very small in the overall CapEx spending. OpEx is really the one that you need to have your eyes on. Lastly, we at ST Engineering are here to help you deploy rural connectivity solutions. Please be in touch.